Guys, welcome to the Chokepoints. And yes, my voice is a little bit not very good because I'm sick. but I got this very interesting news actually. So, there is this country called Israel. Now, for some, I would say it's a boon, and for some, it's a pain in the rear. And we all know for who it's what. Okay. Now, and every now and then, you see, and this happens more frequently, not every now and then actually, more frequently, it happens so frequently that Israel pulls off certain moves, some strategic things that actually shock the world. And just 2 days ago, on 26th of December, for example, right? 26th of December, Bibi Netanyahu, he pulls off another massive move. Now, once again, Bibi Netanyahu, Israel's prime minister, never signs any kind of does any kind of these things without discussing it with Mossad. Okay, the director of Mossad was involved in this decision as well. All right, so so he basically signed an official declaration which recognizes the Republic of Somaliland as a fully independent and sovereign state. Now, some of you will be like, oh, so no, Somaliland doesn't exist and this and that. Actually, no, that's not factually correct. Somaliland actually exists and it's a full fledged country. It's just that it's not listed as Somaliland in the United Nations for many reasons. Okay, for many reasons. And one of the many reasons probably is the politics. Okay. Now, the question really is that why Israel actually recognized Somaliland? And Israel is the only country that recognized it. And Israel said that, hey, they did it under the Abraham Accord. Okay. The Abraham Accord is signed by few other countries too. Why they didn't do or say anything? Why Israel had to bear the burden and feel the wrath of the whole world to do this, take that risk? It's a major risk, right? Because Israel is risking its diplomatic ties with other countries. I mean, European Union has condemned it, African Union has condemned it. In fact, not the whole entire African Union, quite honestly, no. But the all the Middle Eastern countries have, except for UAE and all that, few other countries. But that's it. But other than that, 4 or 5 countries, mainly like Jordan, Egypt, then Saudi Arabia, and then somehow Pakistan. Pakistan consider itself that it's a Middle Eastern country. So, so yeah. So that's what happened. All right. And what Bibi Netanyahu did, he did it on a live video call with the Somaliland president. What his name? His name is Abdul Rahman Muhammad Abdullahi. Okay, Zero, aka Zero. So we will call him Zero. Okay, that's a little too long of a name for me to really go and say all that all the time. So they said this was a mutual recognition. They both were happy, all that, and Israel framed it as in the spirits of Abraham Accords. So far, you're with me, so stay with me, okay? Because I'm going to tell you some interesting things here. All right, some interesting things that are going to unfold down the line. If you really understand what exactly is going on, then you will be like, oh wow. All right. So it's gonna happen. But let me first of all tell you. Now, first of all, let's talk about what exactly the Somaliland is. Okay. Somaliland was a British protectorate, briefly unified with Somalia in 1960. Okay. And then redeclared independence in 1991 after Somalia's state collapse. All right. Now, if Somalia's state collapses and Somaliland is formed, then why anyone has problem with that, right? So 1991 it was formed. It's like Bangladesh was formed in 1971. It came out of Pakistan. Well, Pakistan, both Pakistan, East and West, both Pakistan and Bangladesh, they both came out of India anyway. So now it has its own government, it has its own security forces, it has its own currency, passports, institutions. All those things are there. So yes, they're not broadly recognized, but I think that uh, on paper they are not broadly recognized. Actually, if you go with a Somaliland passport, then chances are that it will work. At least in most of the countries, it will. And in 2024 election, actually, it produced the peaceful transfer of power to over there in Somaliland, meaning the Somaliland is doing a lot better than Somalia itself, and 0 won decisively in that election. Anyways, so now what's important thing is, now let me actually share my screen real quick. Okay, I'm going to show you the map where exactly this country um, falls. Okay, 1 second. Because just stay with me because I'm slow today. I'm just tired. I'm sick, so I have taken medicine and all that. But I still had to do this. So if it wasn't for this news, believe me, I wouldn't make the video. But this was pretty interesting thing. So, anyways, let me start my pen actually. So and then I will show you. Okay. Now you see that red right here, right? Right here. Hmm? Okay. So this part right here, this is Somaliland. Okay. This is Somaliland. Just remember this. This is Somaliland. This is Djibouti right here. All this, huh? This is Somaliland, and this is Somalia, Horn of Africa. This is Horn right here. Okay. This is Horn of Africa, Gulf of Aden. This is the entry point to the Red Sea, which further goes into the Suez Canal. All right. Now, what do you see here? Okay. What do you see here? If you look at this map, let's look at this map first of all. We have a country that has been a pain in the rear for this supply chain, this trade route right here, this guy. Okay. Now, now you have to understand one more thing, that this country, United Arab Emirates, Emirates has a military base in Berbera right here in Somaliland. All right. That's another fact you have to understand. All right. And UAE and Israel have pretty tight ties and relations through Abraham Accords, and not is actually, it will be wrong to say that Israel and UAE ties are good because of Abraham Accords. Actually, they both signed the Abraham Accord, and before that, their ties were way better actually. The Abraham Accord was just President Trump's propaganda that he created with on the name of Abraham Accords, Middle East peace, all that. But actually, that peace already existed. There was nothing fancy done about it. Okay. Now, so now so far you understand this, right? Okay. I will get back to it. Okay. But I'm just trying to build this whole entire thing first. Okay. Now let's look into the actual news. What exactly happened here? Okay. So because of all these problems, UN Security Council is to convene emergency meeting. I don't know what kind of emergency meeting on Israel Somaliland recognition. Now, in my past videos that I have made on uh, Spotify and all that, uh, over there I have said that there is a thing that is the way I'm looking at all the equations all over the globe, then I'm finding that your monarchy, the gl- the monarchy that exists right now in the Middle East, then in the Europe, and then we have UK. Seems like to me is that they are trying to rise above again. If you notice that it was the US that actually ended the monarchy and all their rule all over the world after World War II. Okay, so why I'm talking about monarchy? If you look into it, then you find the European Union. In European Union also, okay, in European Union, there are only very few countries that have condemned it. European Union just becomes a big mouthpiece, but in reality, lots of countries don't even say anything. All right. And it's mainly run by the Euros monarchies, and then you have United Kingdom. Okay. Now this is the news, and they're going to talk about United Nations Security Council emergency meeting, blah blah blah, all that good stuff. All right. Now, if you look into this, now Jordan, the countries including Jordan, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Iran also noted the full rejection of any potential link between such measure and any attempts to forcibly expel the Palestinian people out of their land. Okay, so now you got to pay attention to the countries that I'm pinpointing here. Okay, you have to pinpoint. I'm going to go country by country, and I will tell you what exactly is going on here. All right. Okay. So pay attention. Pay close attention. They're saying, see, these countries that are here, right here. Okay, these countries, they are saying they have come up with this news theory that Israel is planning to push all these Palestinians into the Gaza people into Somaliland. Now, when we go look at the map, okay, let's look at the map. Let me bring up the map, okay? All right, let's see. This is the map right here, okay? Now, they're saying, and somewhere around here, hmm, this whole entire area is, let's say, just this is Somaliland, okay? I put it. All right. Now, this is somewhere around here is Israel, okay? That right there is Israel right here. Hmm? So they're saying these countries right here, these countries, this country right here, and then you have one more rogue country right here. This country is the biggest beggar and the garbage and liar country. Then you have so all these countries, and then you have, yeah, I forgot about one more country. Hold on a second. All right, then you have cold Turkey right here. Okay, this country. So they are saying that Israel is planning to move from listen to it very carefully. Like, this horse shit theory is that they're saying that they're planning to move Gazans from all the way from here to here. My question is, how is Israel is going to do that? What, through a ship? Through a ship that load them on the ship, 5,000 people, 5 or 10,000 people, or 100,000 people on a ship one at a time through the Suez Canal and put them here and then offload them here. That's the plan. Meaning that now Bibi Netanyahu is gonna get involved into human trafficking. Point is that it's all bullcrap. Okay. Now let's go into each and every country, and I will tell you why everyone has the problem. Okay. Jordan. Jordan doesn't have any problem. Jordan is just making a statement to be politically correct. Okay. Jordan is Islamic country, home for Prophet Muhammad. So they have to say it. And Israel and all that, the religious thing that's there. That's why Jordan has to say it. Now, Egypt. Egypt has to say it because Egypt does not want any other country to have some sort of influence in the Red Sea region because Egypt controls the Suez Canal. Now, Egypt controls the Suez Canal, so if Israel somehow gets into the Somaliland as well, then Israel may probably down the line start to provide the net security over there too. Now, if Israel starts to provide the net security of the Red Sea region, then nobody will care about Egypt. And Israel may actually put a full-fledged blockade over there too. Okay. So that's Egypt's fear. Egypt is like bread and butter for Egypt. So Egypt is like, okay, nobody should go in there. It's us. That's it. That's what Egypt is. Saudi Arabia, Saudi Arabia does not want Israel to become powerful. Okay. Israel becoming powerful, meaning that it's a big problem for Saudi Arabia. Okay. So Saudi Arabia doesn't want that. Now, Turkey, same thing with Turkey. Turkey does not want a strong Israel. All right. That's what Turkey's whole motive is. All right. So Turkey is like, okay, you stay busy there with Hamas and all that good stuff. Because if Israel gets uh into Somaliland, then Israel has other sources too after that, right? Then any trade that goes, then Israel can actually start blocking Turkey and all these countries trade selectively. Okay, because these countries they use their lots of ghost ships too. Okay, so there are lots of other behind the scenes things going on, right? Now Iran, now Iran, why Iran is saying it? Iran is saying is because Houthis are there. Now if you look at the map, okay, this is getting interesting. So now let's look at the map here. Okay, now when you look at the map, then right here, right? What do you see? What do you see? You see Yemen right here. This has been a pain in the rear, and this is more like a Iran's proxy. Now, if Israel comes here, sits here, puts a military base here, okay, then what's gonna happen? This is a direct hit right there. It's not gonna take too long. Now that's one aspect. Okay. Now, now, hold on. Okay. Don't leave. Don't leave just yet. Okay. Now, another thing is this, that for Israel, okay, no country has ever become powerful or a global power. And I've said this before in my maritime power video when I made. I said this one liner very effectively. I said that no country has ever become a maritime power, or not just maritime power, but actually a global power without having a world class navy. You have to have blue water navy. Like Russians, only reason Russians need a warm water so that they can have a rock solid navy to operate. Because without navy, they won't have any influence anywhere. You need that. Okay. Otherwise, look at Russia. Look at Russia. Let's look at Russia. Huh? What is it? If Arctic is just not there, if you take the Arctic out of the picture, technically every landmass is surrounded by water, right? But Arctic is mostly frozen. Hmm? So what Russia has only access to Russia as far as warm water is concerned is Black Sea, Caspian. That's it. Okay. And then Mediterranean, Russia has to share some of the power with Turkey, Israel, here and there, all that. That's why Russians actually signed a treaty with India to get into the Indian Ocean region. Okay. Now coming back to Israel. Okay. Now once Israel establishes its military base here, naval base, let's just say, then Israel is gonna start operating that navy from here to here, all the way. And chances, it's highly likely it's not gonna be destroyers or aircraft carrier or any such thing. No, it will be all bunch of submarines. Okay, it will be all submarines. Okay, with SLBMs, and you will see what's gonna happen, ladies and gentlemen, from here to this right there. You see that? Now, if Israel will come here to hit them here, then Israel will also hit them here too. Okay. So that's why this guy has problem too, because this guy right here was providing all the hardware to Hamas behind the scenes. They were selling everything. all kinds of things during all this war, and they have been opposing Israel all along and doing propaganda and all that. Okay, so their days are near, actually, end of days. That type of stuff is gonna happen to this right here, because these are the clowns here. This right here, okay. This country is, it claims to be the net security provider for this country right here. Okay, most of those guys in Saudi Arabian military are Pakistani soldiers. Okay, who basically retire from Pakistan, so they go and work in Saudi Arabia for future changes. Okay, so that's what that is. Now coming back to the thing. All right. So now you know exactly why Israel is doing. It's a grand plan. It has nothing to do with Palestine. These guys right here, they are opposing using Palestine and Gaza and all that as an excuse. Why? Because Gaza is hot. They have to unnecessarily drag Gaza all the time, because that's one thing that they can always drag Israel into. Okay, when really Palestine is just a hypothetical country that literally never existed. Okay, but somehow they created a hypothetical country and then spread the propaganda too. Now they have spread that propaganda so many times that everyone believes that Palestine used to exist. Okay, when actually reality is that Israel actually is the oldest country in that region, quite frankly. All right. Anyways, now notably, the three countries that normalized ties with Israel in 2020, the UAE, Bahrain, and Morocco, did not sign the statement. They did not. Now I will tell you why UAE didn't sign the, because see, these countries are part of Abraham Accord. Why UAE didn't sign it? Now there are a couple of other things that happened. Okay, now, let me get to it. I'll get to it. Hold on. Okay. The statement also contended recognition of parts of states constitute a serious precedent and threatens international peace and security. Peace and security. A terrorist country that talks about, I mean, right here. Okay, hold on a second. This is a, this right here is a terrorist country, practically. The pretty much every country wherever you see terrorist attack happening, right here. This is the hub. Okay, that's what they export. Now, so why UAE did not actually uh, condemn? That's the question. That's another question. And why I'm talking about a terrorist country here. See, why I'm talking about the terrorist country and UAE not condemning is because of this reason. One second. This reason, right? 26th of uh, December, Israel makes the statement, and Pakistan simply votes against it. Oh no, this is a problem, that is a problem, blah blah blah. On 27th of December, Mohammed bin Zayed pays a visit to Pakistan. Unfortunately, he has to shake hands with this beggar right here. Okay, now this is a diplomatic way of dealing with certain things. But even though UAE said that they are going to, they talked about agriculture, trade, this, that. But these people right here, they have, if you look at their history, I'll tell you, okay, if you look at their history, then every Pakistani general, prime minister, this, that, they all have accounts in United Kingdom or US. Okay. They all have their accounts over there in foreign banks. As soon as they retire, for politicians, once their political career is over, and for their armies and all that, army generals and all that, once they retire, and when they get some sort of billion-dollar aid from IMF or US or somewhere, basically somehow some sort of money they get as an aid or as a loan or something. Okay, and then they, what they do is that they take that money as their retirement package and then they disappear. Okay, so clearly, so why I'm telling you all this, see, goal is not here to talk crap about a garbage country. Okay, goal here is to make a point. Point I'm trying to make here is that UAE knows this thing all too well. So why would all of a sudden they will go to this country to improve their trade ties? What exactly this country has to offer that they're going to improve the trade ties? Point is, that's not the case. It was all just said and this and that. And why? If you have to spread trade ties, why? You want to do Merry Christmas or something? No. Why this timing? Why? Why is that? It's because Muhammad bin Zayed went to give him third degree. Third degree that shut the fuck up. Don't run your mouth and stay in your lane. Let people in the region deal with it. It's not your problem. Okay? That's what he went to tell Pakistanis. Okay, because Pakistanis actually talk a lot of crap. They according to them, Israel is afraid of Pakistan. I would love to see once Israel gets their naval base over there. I would love to see who is scared of who after that. Okay. Now once Israel. Now let's go back to the map. Okay. Now enough trolling. All right. So one second. All right. So once Israel gets no, hold on. I'm moving a little too fast now. Okay. Now now let's talk about UAE. I'm not done with it. So UAE went over there because UAE went to Pakistan because UAE has its naval base in Somaliland. You guys didn't know that, did you? UAE has right here, Berbera. UAE has its naval base here. Okay. Now, clearly, uh, Israel may get one or this or something, or maybe they may just share this one. Okay. So point is that UAE already has a naval base, and if Somaliland gets recognized as a country, then UAE is benefited by it. So why would UAE will have problem with all that? It becomes UAE's personal matter. UAE has lots and lots of investment in solar Somaliland. And Israel and UAE ties are pretty tight too, under the Abraham Accord before that and all that. So UAE wasn't gonna tolerate this nonsense from Pakistanis. Okay, so he had to pay the visit to teach them a lesson that hey, you don't belong there. Just stay in your lane. All right, that's what the case was with the UAE. UAE's visit to Pakistan. Now for Israel, once Israel gets here, see now why UAE doesn't have problem with any of that. See, UAE doesn't have problem. UAE has problem with UAE doesn't have problem with Israel coming over because look at all these enemies, hostilities all over, right? Yemen, then you may Somalia is right here, a bad land, right? So UAE's concern is that what if someday Yemenis, Houthis, and all that they just attack and capture this whole entire thing? Iranians, you never know. Iranians may lose their shit, and then they may just simply just plan something here and then capture this whole entire thing. That's why. So UAE understands the big game. So they understand this thing and they want to make sure that things are in safe hands. And somebody who has that kind of firepower and that kind of capability to do something like this or pull out these type of operations. Okay. Now coming back to our naval power thing, right? Now when Israel is somewhere around here, okay, when Israel is here, then it's not that much of a big area where Israel can actually run its naval base and this and that. Okay, that's not. So what Israel needs is something to spread its wings in naval base. What Israel? Why? Because this way, Red Sea and all that, and then not to mention, Israel may down the line sign some deals with India, considering they have rock solid ties, to patrol the Indian Ocean region together. Like India and Russia have signed, India and Indonesia have signed. All right, so that is there. And if Israel gets a base, then right here, and Israel will get the base. Make no mistake, Israel is gonna be sitting here pretty soon. All right, it's gonna happen. You will see. Mossad has already talked. It is already discussed. Once Israel gets the base, then Israel is going to hammer who? Right here. Okay. This to stabilize this whole entire thing, the whole entire proxy, Iranian proxy needs to go. That's the problem. Okay. So that's what's going on with the Somali land. That's the whole entire equation. Okay. So now you understand what exactly is going on with this whole entire thing. And just remember this. Just remember this. This is not a trade visit. Okay. This is him telling him this. Okay. That's what's going on. All right. So I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please do like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys in another video. Okay. Take care. Bye bye.